those are real jobs.
Those are my best days, bro.
Those
I
are
used to roof in Colorado, flat roofs, stock them in the dead of the winter. I remember one day I took a shit in a bag and crunched it up and gave it to one of the workers and told him it was a brownie. And like 10 minutes later, he's like, "This ain't a brownie. It smells like shit." We're fucking dying of laughter. But here's the deal. What happened was when she was in the 8th grade, I was a 7. We weren't dating no more, but we were friends. We all played together on the street. And I had this kid, Valentine Ferro. He was the mechanic on the block.
Yeah.
I had this kid. This kid was brilliant. You brought him a stolen bicycle within 10 minutes. It was all duped up. Banana bar. You couldn't find that fucking serial number on there, even if you wanted to. But every day when I come out, he'd go, "Coco, ride this bike. Tell me if it needs any help." Hey, Coco, ride this bike. You know what I'm saying? So I would get on the bike ride and go, "Bro, the pedals. You got to put more oil on the fucking pedals that don't maneuver right." So I went around to Charles Court and we were playing football and I put the bicycle on the fucking floor. So we're playing football, and she's on the block with her girlfriend. She picks up the bicycle, dog, gets on and starts driving the bicycle down the block. Charles Court was a loop, a complete loop. You know those streets? It's not a cul-de-sac. It's that you go in and have the island in the middle. Right. It was a loop. So she went on this way and we were going to catch her on this way. So me and my buddies were going to catch her over here. And as we're going for the bike, she twisted the handlebars and went over and fell. She fell. She got up. She said she was okay. She goes, "I'm fine." We said, "You sure?" Yeah. We were like giggling, when somebody falls when you're in the fucking 7th grade, you giggle. She went inside. The next day we went to school and they pulled me on. They go, "You hear what happened to your girl? She got a blood clot in her fucking brain." Because when she hit the thing. Whoa. So I went to the hospital, whatever, what happened. They were like, "No, she got blood clot." A couple days later, the brother heard that, something had happened. So he came to me and he goes, "Bro, what happened that day? I just want to know." And it was me and all the buddies were there, her girlfriend. We were all there. She went away from the bicycle, went over into like weeds and shit. But she wasn't bleeding or nothing, bro. She must have just hit her head. She just hit her head. So he always had like this, me and him never got along. I mean, he knew I was banging his fucking sister. He heard all the stories. So it was the weirdest Cuban house. These motherfuckers were real specs. The father and the mother had broken up, but he was Cuban. He ain't leaving nowhere. You got to take me out with bazookas. This is my fucking house. So he stayed in the house, even though he lived in the basement, built his own fucking apartment in the basement, wouldn't even talk to him. Even a little hood, so when he walked in, he didn't have to look at their faces. This is my house. Mi house. Yo pagué por esta casa, ¿sabes? Mi house. I don't go nowhere. My house. And he wouldn't talk to the family. Wouldn't talk to the family. Wouldn't talk to the kid. Wouldn't talk to the girl. He would just talk to the boy. He had a Corvette, the whole fucking deal. He thought it was bad to the bone. So did the wife date new guys? No. The guy would go fucking crazy. He'd stab motherfuckers. The mother lived there. The whole family lived there. Nice house. She was like a doctor, bro. They had money. These people had dough. That's hilarious. But the funny thing was that I had gotten punished at that time. Me and this kid, Albie, were at war. Like, I kept hearing Albie wants to give you a hard time and shit. So I told my stepdad one day, I go, "Dad, this is what's going on. Those people, that girl." He goes, "Fuck them. Don't worry about it," right? So one day, me and my dad, and that's the first vision I got when I went in front of the house. I had a shoot, and I was explaining to people about the house. And we had like a little garden in the front and the stairs. And my dad would never hide guns in the house. He would always hide them around. Like if he came here to visit you, he would come a day early and put a gun outside. Just in case something happened. Like he was one of those. Hide a gun in the shack. He's a bad motherfucker. So this guy used to hide all the guns in his, up the block and in his fucking plants, under the plants. But he had a gun hidden. I never knew this growing up. I would mow that lawn. That's how good of a hider he was. He was brilliant. You'd mow that lawn. He had guns tucked away. Guns tucked under the fucking lawn. I couldn't even see him. Wow. So one day we're out there with the fucking lawn. He's out there all spicked up with his white T-shirt, and his big gold chain, and white shorts, and white shoes. And I'm out there mowing, sweating. And he wouldn't even do the lawn bag. He would make me open the bag like this, and he would pour the fucking shit in, like to torment me. So I see the white Corvette pull up, and it's Albie and his father. And I'm like, "Dad, this is the fucking guy that was busting my balls about New York." He came out. I'll never forget that. My dad just looked at him, walked into the garden, came out with the fucking 45, and he didn't even point at him. And there were people outside barbecuing. People were out there playing, talking. Nobody seen the gun. He just had it inside. He went, "What's up?" They looked at him. They walked 3 steps backward. Didn't even turn to him. They got back in that Corvette, and I never seen that motherfucker again. I seen him in '93 at a Super Bowl party. How many different times have you seen people pull guns? 15. How many shoot? 3, 4. 3 or 4. Wow. It's a fucked up feeling when you see a gun pull out, because even if it's not pointed at you, dog, you think that's it. That's the end of the party. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. That's the end of the party, because it's not the guy with the gun. It's the people that charge him and how easy a trigger is half the time. You see, dog, I hear gun unless the dude standing in front of him got something to do with me, you never see these fat little legs move that fast. De Niro's got like these black chicks that he takes right from like South Florida. You ever go to Florida? Those black chicks are raw. Like, go to Orlando Airport. Those black chicks are raw.
I get mine from Pompano.
They have no fucking afro sheen. Their hair just goes up like Joan Armatrading. They got fucking tattoos. They're a little heavy. This girl that De Niro had, he fixed her up. He gave her fake tits. He took away all her tattoos. He gave her the real hair. He bought that horse hair so she had her shit. And he put her up in a fucking thing with Shaq lived. And that's how we got to talk. Like, I'm like, what made you move? Like, you know, sometimes in acting class, they're like, well, you want to meet at a coffee shop to do scenes? Or they either come to your house or you go to their house. And one day she said, you want to come to my house? I live in the Wilshire District. Okay, I didn't even know what the Wilshire District is. I just started driving. And all of a sudden I pull up and there's a doorman. And what the fuck does this bitch do? And after a while one day, she goes, my boyfriend's De Niro. Look at the sleep apnea machine. But she was telling me the whole story that she wouldn't see him. He would just call her on Friday and go, get that black ass washed. Papa's coming for dinner. And it was all over the shop. You know,
How many of those do you think he has?
She said she knew she wasn't the only one.
That's beautiful.
And so there was a no questions asked sort of a policy?
No questions asked. When I come to town.
That's the way to roll.
Trim that.
Well, that's why he's been rolling for a long time,
trim
right?
that buckwheat for years because Papa's going to whistle into that fucking cave of death. You love Boulder. You love the people of Boulder.
Loved it.
I lived in Boulder in 85 and I moved up to the hill. I don't even think I told you about these stories. And I met these guys up on the hill that were Vietnam vets. They sold weed or whatever. You know, some of them were hippies and some of them were guys that looked like us, you know, straight up. And I became friends with a guy's name was Ed. We would go to Vietnam. You know, we became friends. I was lonely out there. It was 85. I was 21. And I would go with him to the vet center and get his meds. And, you know, and then after a while, he introduced me to another vet. And I would meet them. And you know how when I had a problem with my ex-wife and her husband, you know, these were my friends. Just because they were crazy or whatever they had gone through, I respected them, bro. They went over there at fucking 16. You know what I'm saying? They were there till they were 24. Bodies. They would tell me the stories. And these guys were living in hell. I knew it, but I couldn't turn my back on them, my friends, you know?
Right.
And it's funny, you used to encourage me, Joey, you got to get healthy. These guys were encouraging me to kill this motherfucker. You understand me? You know, like when you see somebody go, Joey, man, you look like, they were like, dog, did you think about what I told you? Like, I couldn't shake them.
Right.
That one guy, the one, not Ed, but his partner, that guy specialized. He used to show me. After we meditate, I'd take him up to the fucking, the one canyon, I'm sorry, with the words.
Sunshine?
One of those canyons.
Left hand?
One of those fucking canyons. This motherfucker was hitting targets with a bow and arrow. He would dream about even seeing.
Really?
And he would tell me, dog, whenever you want to kill this motherfucker. But he told me, I go, well, how are you going to kill him? I don't know nothing about no bow and arrows. He's like, you're going to have to kill him. And I go, I don't know how. I go, I don't want to kill him with no gun. He goes, in Boulder, we don't need guns. That's what I told you. We'll take him up to the mountains. We'll slice his fucking thigh. We'll rub him down with maple syrup and peanut butter. In 2 days, a bear, they'll only find the elbow because the bears don't eat the elbow joint. And maybe a tooth if he's sick of eating. These guys were serious. And every time I'd see him, they're like, dog, did you think about that motherfucker? Right now, he's fucking your ex-wife. Right now, he's hugging your daughter. I mean, they were like, whoa. And I love these guys because they were right. They were like, you know, these guys were by the book, but they were Vietnam vets. They were, you know.
That store was it was an attractor, and it still is an attractor of crazy people.
But when a woman comes up to you and says, can I talk to you for a second? You know, how do you get funny? And, you know, I just want to be funny and they won't give me spots. What do I have to do to get spots here? That's the magic answer. When they just say that to you, what do I need to do to get spots? And you like try to beat around the bush. Well, you could write jokes. You could go to a stand-up class, or you could suck my dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got 3 options.
Is that what you said?
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Well, you had the one girl you talked about in the podcast who said a message, sent a letter about how you broke her.
Oh, broke her. And I didn't mean to break her. She was always willing to suck my dick. So what am I remember her sucking my dick with dirty fingernails one night. And me going, this is terrible. Like this, in that little bathroom, the cubicle on the second floor. Remember the one by the phone where you answer the phone?
Totally.
Like, how many fucking blowjobs did you get in there from women that just said, if you suck my dick, will you put me on the Belly Room show with you next week? Yeah, call me. And they'll just suck your dick for a fucking spot. And then the best one was when I got locked up and went to prison. I'm in a tube with 80 guys, and they're like, dog, you know, you have to go get a blood test today. And I'm like, that's it. I'm going to fucking get my blood test, wake up with a dick in my ass. It's over.